Remember to listen, we are book of and it's a battle, but I by woman, no government. We can see where the battle, damn no gabble at Uka. Never saw the battle, damn no gabble at Uka. Only battle, family, damn no gabble at Uka. Everybody, what are you about? What about the I saw the battle. What about the Miss Babalao? What if I went back to me, Babalao? What about the me and the
I can't hear you. I can hear you.
Monster.com makes games right.
We're coming through. Just a bit of technical glitch again this morning. Bear with us. Just waiting for the connection back in the studio. Not sure what's going on. It seems to be getting any. All right. I'm not sure if you can hear me, but I can hear you back here. I can hear you. So let's check maybe from my end. No. All right. Give me a few minutes. Let me check from my end. 1 minute. I'll call you back in a minute. All right. I'll be sure what's going on back to the studio. Let's just continue with this. For a few minutes again. I'm not being I think it's from my end or it could be from the studio. Not sure. Oh, okay. I can get a bit of sound. So let's give it one more go again. Oh, this problem with technology. I'm not even getting enough sound at all. And yeah. Anyway. Well, I can't hear you at all, Mr. Archie. I don't know if you can hear me, but I can hear you at all. I can hear you.
Let's take a musical break.
No, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Because I can hear you at all from here. But I cannot hear. Nothing is not coming back here. So I'm not sure. I can't hear you at all. No, nothing seems to be coming back. So I'm not sure. It looks better than Okay. All right. We wait for the studio. There's still a bit of technical glitch from the studio, so we wait and see. Okay, well, like I say, happy Thursday. As quite a lot of Nigerians, indigenous, are going through the last lap. Nigeria. We told you Nigeria is not working. You have told us it's going to work. Which if it's shiny, nobody has been able to come and explain to us. And when you look at it, just having an election is what makes a country works. You can have election every 1 year. Alright, so it's not even ringing here. But definitely there's a problem somewhere. Can be Archie. Alright, there's a big problem. The problem from somewhere. And I will settings that everything. Might check, might check. Definitely a problem. Problem somewhere. Might check, might check. Might check, might check. Let's do something. No problem, we're really not picking that to do that. Let me see if I can do it from here. Yeah, Mr. Archie. Yeah. Okay, all right. All right.
Okay, all right. Okay, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I don't know whether now Yomi can hear me where he is. Yomi, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, okay. We sincerely apologize for what is happening this morning. Not very sure exactly what is going on, but we have to bring you the news that is making the rounds in Nigeria. I have to call it the update from Nigeria. So let's go to our Northland Studios where we have Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Yomi, once again, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Archie. Good morning to all our listeners around the globe. And welcome once again. Okay, listeners, just bear with me. Just bear with me. I don't know, there is a noise in the... Okay. I have some noise in my... Yomi, is there a noise in on your side? Well, it could be maybe the system that is just making a bit of noise.
Okay, okay, okay. Listener, just bear with us. Just bear with. I think it's better now. Okay, so let's go on. Let's go on because it is, these are serious times that we need to go on with whatever that we have to do. With me is Mr. Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios. Unfortunately, the visual for Yomi's place is having a bit of a problem there, so we'll just go back. Yes, so good morning, good morning. How are you doing?
Doing very well. We can't complain. We give thanks. Yeah, we have to continue from exactly what is happening around the world. But the focus point is always Nigeria, as quite a lot is going to be happening, which is the election that is just tickling with so much happening on the ground as well. Well, I say good morning once again to all our listeners and welcome.
Yes. Listeners, once again, we sincerely apologize for not bringing you a live video or visual of the broadcast from the North London studios, but we'll go on with it. But before I come to Yomi once again, Adax Breaker says, good morning, Mr. Archie. The situation is so bad in Nigeria to assist families, but they can't receive money being sent to them. Really sad situation. Well, we're talking about the fact that you have to get yourself something, some food and some water, something like that, so that just in case, you're able to protect or fend for the family. And that's what Adax Breaker is saying. Razak Kinde says, good morning, Mr. Olayomi. Esther said, oh, his voice, okay, someone saying that your voice is low, very low. Esther, is it better now? Okay, can you, let me see. Okay, say that it's perfect now. I'm not sure Olayomi says, good afternoon, Echo says, and then Larry says, good afternoon, Mr. Koiki and Mr. Archie. Esther says, good morning, Mr. Archie and Koiki there. Thank you very much. Continue to share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones. But let's quickly go to Yomi once again. Now, what was discussed yesterday on the Niger Voices, sir?
Well, we went back again to look at expectation. Expectation is quite high, and it depends on which side you are. If you're on those that believe that Nigeria should not be in existence again, that means you probably not want anything more than a new nation out of Nigeria. And if you're still one that still believe in Nigeria, that also means that you would have to be expecting a lot out of Nigeria. 3 days as of yesterday, we are now less than 48 hours. What are the expectations was the discussion, yesterday. And as Nigerians are waiting, to probably go and cast their vote, while we were online yesterday, we also got the joint statement that was also coming out from the United States of America, Canada, Australia, Japan, and the United Kingdom. I'm going to be talking more about that joint statement because it's quite a very full details of that joint statement. But one thing is, nobody knows what that expectation is going to look like. But what we can say is, the three main contenders of this election will be definitely, fighting each other to get, people to vote for them. And the vote might end up to be inconclusive. This is the first time since the 24 years of democratic progress during which it has been a symbol to others of the value exercising. And this is part of the final part of the diplomatic mission of United States, Australia, Japan, Norway, Canada, and United Kingdom in Nigeria that congratulate us. Maybe this will be the last one, we don't know, but should it go on as smooth and fair, then it will probably continue to flourish according to them. But one thing is, Peter Obi joining the race out of PDP has literally made it very difficult for the APC and the PDP. And the reason for that is, the more Nigerians have looked at, these two political parties, even though Peter Obi was once a PDP candidate. But what we can say is Peter Obi now is going to divide this election in a way that we've never seen before. We do know that Kwankwaso, that was also present with Omoyele Sowore at the second peace accord, which according to this joint statement, they must also respect that. So let me go straight to the joint statement and then come back to you. A joint statement from the diplomatic missions of the United Kingdom, the United States, Japan, Canada, Norway on the upcoming general elections in Nigeria. The diplomatic mission of the United States, and then Japan, Australia, and the Canada, Norway, and United Kingdom in Nigeria welcome the signing of the second peace accord. I'm not sure whether we do signing of peace accord here in UK or in America if the election is about to start, because it seems that it is only part of that globe war, the part of that war that you have to sign a peace accord, because definitely someone will not be pleased with the outcome. But what they are saying is that they are happy that such is taking place yesterday. We believe it is also vital for Nigerians' stability and democratic consolidation. Let me quickly take you to paragraph 6. And the reason for that is, that also reflects to those of us that do not believe anymore in Nigeria, but as the Nigerian government literally accepted such in what the United Kingdom and the rest believe is a democratic process in the last 24 years of the democracy in Nigeria. We call on all officials, including the law enforcement authorities, to ensure a safe and conducive environment for the exercise of the public freedom, which a lot of people disagree on the Starr Radio UK Nigeria Voices yesterday, including the freedom of opinion and expression, the freedom of peaceful assembly, and the freedom of association, which none of these has ever taken place in terms of free and fair. When people come out to protest, you get killed or you get arrested, as today now also start the first day of a total lockdown in Biafra land, as they say, no election, which indicate that they are expressing their opinion. It might not be favoring a lot of people, but as millions disagree with the government of the Southeast that they do not want to be part of that anymore, then we don't know how that is going to play out.
Well, how's it all going to play out there? Big Sam, good morning to you. Adams Breaker, let me say massive good morning to you as well. He says, I hear you, Koiki. And then Akola Tunde says, loving your broadcast. And he continued to say, the last man standing in Yoruba nation struggle. I hail you. So, lots of people hailing you there. And you are listening to us. Those of you listening to us, we also hail you. But for you, we will not be here. It's not coming away from Starr Radio UK. And once again, I sincerely apologize for not bringing you a live visual of Yomi there. So we have a still picture there. But let's move on to some of the other stories. But Yomi, when it comes to pre-elections, now, this election, do you think it's been one that has been characterized by lots of violence and anticipation has been, virtually people looking forward to anticipation of things happening rather than as compared to the other elections that have been held. How do you see this one?
Well, election in Nigeria has always been violent. We witness violence when we travel to Nigeria, even as much as the reportage coming as well from the Observer could not deny such as well. Let me take you to Southwest Elisha. There has been a lot of killing between the APC and the PDP, and we can't show those footage, but I can tell you it's already on the social media. And the question, one of the those that were speaking in that video in Yoruba was saying that, is this burial or is this an election? Let me also take you back quickly. Yesterday, there's been another death of a Labour Party senatorial candidate, and that also means violence. I can tell you as I speak to you right now, in a bid to have a peaceful election, the Nigerian military has commenced Operation Safe Conduct across the country. There is a video right in front of me at Mobolaji Bank Anthony Way in Lagos with full military personnel in a military convoy. It looks like we are going into a full scale of war. If this is happening in Lagos State, I do not know what it's going to look like in the Southeast, especially as we know that over 400,000, about 13,000 are going to be mobilized there. But what I can tell you is, yesterday, late last night, in the incident, Honorable Ofo Chukwugo was killed in the evening at about 6 p.m. just as we're going into the Starr Radio UK. We can't show that image. He was actually burnt inside his vehicle. Remember that yesterday I was telling you in River State, where we had a radio station and a TV station burnt down as well because they are opposition to the government of River State. So election has always been violent. How this is not going to be violent this time around, including 3 contenders that are very powerful in their push for the presidency, is something that we have to wait and see in the next 48 hours.
Well, something that we have to wait and see. But if you're on the ground, what are you seeing? Are you going to be voting as well? Or as it's been said, in the southeast, there's going to be a sit-at-home, 5 days, a sit-at-home starting from today. What is happening on that front? We'll be bringing you more on that front, and then we will want to hear from you what you also have to say about that as well. Now, when it comes to the Naira scarcity, that is, and the fuel scarcity, which is fueling lots of unrest in the country at the moment. Now, we have one of the APC's chieftains, Keredolo, who is saying that, look, rise above the frustration of Naira scarcity and vote APC. Now, this is a government that has overseen insecurity, that has overseen Naira scarcity, and that has overseen what? Fuel scarcity. And they tell you that, you know what, it's cool. So, how do Nigerians vote? I told me they are going to vote. Is it by looking at the manifesto of the party and looking at its track record, or because of I mean, we know the politicians have lots of money, or they hold lots of money and they give those monies out? Is that what we're going to be saying? Is that how they're going to be voting this time around as well?
Well, every governor is making the final push, especially those that are in the same political party with the president that probably want to disrupt, what he meant, because it seems that 8 years of Buhari, he has enjoyed it and he does not want the next man to enjoy it, which is what Akeredolu believes. Akeredolu is the chairman of the Southwest Governor, and yes, he made a state broadcast yesterday. The Ondo State Governor Akeredolu has said that the Naira redesign and the swap policy was to target, truncate Saturday presidential election and the National Assembly elections as well. He also added that the policy was also to target the All Progressive Congress presidential candidate Bola Tinubu to ensure he lost the election. The question then is, who is behind such? Because it is not the PDP in the power. APC is currently in the power. So, it seems already that there's a cabal within that we have already been told by Najatu Mohammed that is Aisha Buhari. So everything is pointing against APC, and that is becoming more pressure. He said the goal is to truncate the election, deny the country the service of a true patriot, and embody visionary with a proven record of character knowledge, which I'm not sure a lot of people agree with that, because Tinubu does not have the character and the record from what he's saying, but that's, the views of the governor as well there. But one thing is, is this election going to go ahead as planned? Yesterday, the Supreme Court could not make any judgment. They've actually turned it to say that the judgment is going to be coming back on the March the 2nd. That is after the presidential election. The Naira crisis, Supreme Court shift judgment, scarcity persists. What is it? In a layman, what does that mean? What that means literally means that the Supreme Court says you can still continue to spend your old Naira notes, but Abuja, FCT, the federal government disagree with such. The Supreme Court now have fixed again another Wednesday. I'm not sure why they keep using Wednesday, which is our Niger Voices, which is March 3rd, not March 2nd, for his judgment in 10 governors suit against the federal government and the Central Bank of Nigeria. This is Starr Radio UK. The shifting of the judgment date dashed the hope of millions of Nigerians who had hoped the apex court would end the case ahead of the presidential election. And as I speak to you this morning, I got a video from Owode where at 5 a.m. people have already been queuing for the ATM that is not yet loaded with money, but they are probably waiting to take turn by the time the money that is not going to come, and they can be the one in the queue. 5 a.m. I mean, imagine you have to leave your house, Mr. Archie, to go and stand in front of the ATM just to withdraw money at 5 o'clock, when you should still have at least another 2 hours sleep. But that is what it is in Nigeria, and it's created. So my question is, with the election in just 48 hours, who is going to clear this mess as we go into an election where there's so much expectation?
Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK from our North London studios. You're hearing the voice of Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Those of you who really want to see him all the time, well, unfortunately today you can only see a picture of him there, but I promise you that tomorrow we'll have him back on live and clear. Okay, just going to be about 24 hours before the election, but whatever it is Starr Radio UK. We'll go back to Tons AJ says good morning, the White Lion, and Mr. Archie. We hope you are doing very, very well, sir. Let's go back to Yomi for the rest of the story that is making the rounds. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, thank you so much. Gunmen kidnap Imo monarch and wife and raise the house of APC and the Labour Party. Quite a lot of terrible news coming out of Nigeria in just 48 hours before the election. Yesterday, the gunmen, kidnapped the wife of a traditional ruler of Amuro Autonomous Community in Okwigwe, local government area of Imo State. Apart from kidnapping the monarch wife, the rampage gunmen also burnt the country homes of the chairman of the All Progressive Congress and the Labour Party in Amuro Ward. The development caused panic in the community as residents fled their homes. A source who doesn't want to be mentioned told also that the attackers set the house ablaze as soon as they arrived at the compound. Again, a lot of pressure in Nigeria. Let's go back to Olubadan Council against voters' appetite as well. Then we do know that there's a lot of vote buying that is going to happen, in the next 48 hours. But the question is, are you going to take the old Naira as against the new one if you are given the option to be, if you are going to be selling your vote? Because if you end up taking the old Naira note, you could be losing in both sides, even though collecting money for vote is totally against the INEC and the Constitution of Nigeria. Less than 48 hours to the Presidential National Assembly, the Olubadan of Ibadan, Oba Lekan Balogun Ali Okunmade II, on Thursday is urging Nigerians not to allow the current discomfort across the land occasioned by the redesign of the Naira policy and the fuel scarcity to discourage them from exercising their civic responsibility on Saturday. He further admonished them to the troop out in large numbers to vote for the candidate of their choice during the election. He was saying this in a statement that was made available, by his media aide yesterday as well. Northern youth groups declare support for Atiku. Is coming as well in the less than 48 hours. Ahead of the Saturday presidential election, the Joint Action Committee of the Northern Youth Association has declared support for the People's Democratic Party candidate Atiku Abubakar for the poll, which is also coming up as well. Court stopped Uzodinma from arresting COP spokesperson. We do know that the COP has been attacked frequently, but luckily he was able to install some more CCTV that has now indicated that in this state, it is the same security that is meant to protect them that is actually creating the havoc. A High Court of the Federal Capital Territory sitting in Gwagwalada has now restrained the governor of Uzodinma of Imo State from arresting the People's Democratic Party House of Representative candidate Ipenga Ugo Shinyere, cited as the first to 7 respondent in the suit. Quite a lot of pressure in the country, and that takes me to some of the more headline before we move straight to the social media. Labour senatorial candidate Oyibo Chukwu shot dead in Enugu. Like we said as well, a very, very terrible situation for the family and the rest of the Labour Party followers as well. Oyibo is Chukwu is a Labour senatorial candidate. He was on Wednesday evening shot dead in Enugu, witnessed in a video that we received as well. I've seen that video. Mr. Chukwu is a barrister, was killed while on a campaign movement around Agbani in the state. Reports said no group immediately claimed responsibility for the attack, which reportedly claimed other people in the camping van. It was unclear how many people in the vehicle. All the victims were reportedly burned alongside the candidate, according to the spokesman of the police in Enugu, which again is creating a lot of pressure in that particular side as well. One more before we go straight to the social media. Division has Ohanaeze women wing support Atiku. Ohanaeze worldwide stakes to Obi. So it seems that just as Afenifere is divided, some are supporting Tinubu, while some are supporting Kwankwaso. We have 3 of them that are fractions. We have 3 fractions in Afenifere, which is the social cultural group for the Yorubas. One is supporting Peter Obi, one is supporting Tinubu, and one is supporting Kwankwaso as well. Heavily armed police operatives storm INEC office in Lagos, and you should expect that because that is where the sensitive materials is going to be kept. INEC in Lagos on Wednesday took delivery of sensitive materials for Saturday presidential and parliamentary poll from the central bank. With just 2 days to the presidential and federal parliamentary election, a police detachment numbering about 30 has now arrived at the INEC office in Lagos to beef up the security around the facility. The operative fully armed arrived INEC at about 5 p.m. yesterday with their weapons and luggage, with INEC busy loading the bimodular voter accreditation system in trucks to various local government areas in the state. Also, we do know that a court in judgment have also said that MC Oluomo, the park manager of Lagos State, should not be allowed to use his assets to move the INEC materials as well. INEC in Lagos on Wednesday have now taken those sensitive materials as well. So quite a lot is happening as well in Lagos State, just as all other states are all preparing for the election as well. Utomi slams the foreign nations international observer over corrupt politicians. The mission also know politicians who use stolen public funds to block access for citizens. Pat Utomi, the convener of the Big Tent for the Peter Obi Deity presidential ticket, has criticized the United States, the UK, and other countries and international election observer for not doing enough to stop corrupt Nigerian politicians from manipulating elections. Mr. Utomi stated this in Lagos today at a news conference. He said the call become necessary following his observation on the activities of some foreign election observer in Nigeria in the past presidential election. He accused some of them of suppressing democracy in Nigeria as their role had an insulation effect on the right of the citizen to elect the candidate they want to lead as well. So I'll take you straight to the social media this morning, and then I'm going to come back to you in the studio. Once again, it's 11:40 in the Starr Radio UK as we monitor, situations on the ground in Nigeria. And trending this morning, a very, very sad video posted by Yoruba Global Youth. This evil, just watch as children struggle to drink Gary. That is all they have. No money, no food. When will this be over? Like I said, there's about numbering of almost 5 children drinking Gary from a goal. Again, that is what it is in Nigeria. There's another video where, again, Yoruba Global Youth say, just look at what the government has turned the people into. And in this video, I'm not sure what they were throwing to the people. It looks like when you have chicken and you're throwing the corn, and then you can imagine how the chicken will be running to get those corn. That is exactly what is happening again in this particular video. Again, Simon Ekpa seems to be trending. If chance permit, I know we said we were going to connect to Nigeria today, but because we are having technical communication back in Nigeria right now, we're not too sure why, but that is slowing things down, and that's the reason why we couldn't bring that live. But we see if we can get him to speak to us between now and tomorrow, even if it's a short video, and then we can have that played, to us tomorrow, because tomorrow is our last day on the Starr Radio UK before the election. But I can tell you that a lot of newspaper in Finland has continued to interview Simon Ekpa to get his view. A particular paper, not newspaper, a particular TV station sent a reporter to represent them from Nigeria. He granted the interview, but for whatever reason, that interview was not aired by the paper in Nigeria, and the reason for that is probably known to them. But maybe we can just listen to a bit of that interview, and that will, at least, if we can't get to him, because we know he's a very busy person at the moment. But in a tweet he had there, he said, one Twitter doctor asked if Simon Ekpa is sick for dry lips. Tell him yes, that I am sick, but I challenge their own Nigerianist presidential candidate to allow media to snap them while changing their dress for an interview. That was how relaxed the journalists were in my residence. And like I said, he was able to grant an interview, but this is part of what he said in that interview. This is Starr Radio UK. Simon Ekpa here.
So, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
So much is riding on this election, especially for young people in Nigeria. They're desperate for change in the people's mind. Why are you so determined to undermine democracy?
I think undermining democracy is not the right word. Rather, promoting democracy. You give the people a choice. And the choice of the Biafra people is a referendum. It's also the democratic process. So that's not undermining a democracy. More accepted democratic process is when you give the people choice to decide their fate.
But they have a choice. This is an election which will be following democratic.
In Nigeria, Biafra people do not have a choice. And that is a historical problem created by the British. So everybody, as you have been a journalist with your experience and the history of Nigeria, you agree with me that Nigeria is a mistake because of the tribal and dangerous diversity in Nigeria, which is also a destructive diversity. So when you give the people the choice to choose how they want to live, that is a true democracy.
Well, we will play more of these tomorrow as well. It's about 30 minutes, but at least that gives you and our listeners, the view of, Simon Ekpa, the spokesman for the Biafra, and as they sit at home, have already kickstarted and is, one of those trending heavily this morning. And let's see what other is trending. Apostle Sulaiman is trending. Not sure why WhatsApp is trending in Nigeria. It could be there is a glitch. And I know I'm coming back to you in the studio, but as I speak to you right now, WhatsApp is trending, and WhatsApp is one of the fastest communication in Nigeria. Should that collapse between now and the election, that means less communication with those of us from outside back to Nigeria as well. Starr Radio UK, it is the finest Africa and Caribbean radio station in London.
Yeah, Excellency Mr. Olayomi Koiki, let me just acknowledge Olori Matt. He says good morning, Mr. Koiki and Mr. Archie. Okay, thank you very much, Olori. Now, let me quickly come to you pertaining to social media or WhatsApp that is trending on the Twitter. Now, the question is, do you think that the government has a plan to maybe, mute social media or shut social media down for the election time? Have they said anything of the sort, or you think that it can happen?
Well, nothing of such. Even the CBN have said, transaction will continue. They don't have any reason for such to be happening. But we don't know in Africa when things like this going to happen, especially election that is now becoming a big headline, just for not allowing us to see what is happening. We could have a bit of twinkling around the social media being, slowed down, as it's not even fast in the first place, but it could be a little bit more slower than what we are going to be expecting. So I won't be, sitting here saying that it cannot be shut down. It could be shut down, and it could be shut down anytime from tomorrow.
Okay, we'll be following that closely as well. Now, some people are thinking, okay, let the election hold, whatever it is. But who among the three top crew do you think his victory will promote Nigeria's unity, if any?
It's a very difficult question because every one of them has a large followers, and every three of them, even as much as every one of them is playing in one Nigeria, but if it goes to whichever side, it's going to favor, according to the views of some, to one particular ethnic groups. And this is where the problem is. If Peter Obi gets there, does not mean he's going to be a savior. And then also, as much as a lot of people believe that the Igbos have not been given a better opportunity, but the question is, does the northern part of Nigeria that we know wants to hold on to the power, because evidence is showing that. And they're also saying that, the Southwest, as you can see, Akeredolu says, it looks like Buhari wants to truncate the election on behalf of Tinubu not becoming the president. But Tinubu supported him as a northerner. When he was coming in, he couldn't do it on his own for 3 times because he was keep falling down until Tinubu plugged into that mission on his behalf and then pull him out. And now that he's leaving, he's damaging the truncating, and all kind of English is now coming out that we've never had before. So in terms of the three, whether any of the three will bring peace and unity, remember that when Buhari came, he said it's for everybody, but he ended up it was never for everybody because he has not respected the rule of law. And one great example of that is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I was listening to someone this morning, and he said even Ojukwu was allowed to come back, by Shehu Shagari, and he actually contested. So there's no reason why a court that has already acquitted and discharged Nnamdi Kanu of all the 15 counts is still being held for the sake of peace. Maybe it might still be released, but for now, Nnamdi Kanu is still in the custody of the DSS.
Listen to Starr Radio UK. Before we run up, now, do you think that Tinubu is well?
Tinubu has spent most time here in UK for different health reasons. that nobody knows, just as President Muhammadu Buhari spent most of the time here as well in UK. Is Tinubu well? Well, looking at him, he looks like somebody that needs to probably take care of his health. But again, it seems that his media aides will disagree with somebody like us. They might say because we are the Yoruba nations, and probably that's the reason why we are saying so. But again, should Tinubu get there, we might probably see another version of Tinubu like Buhari that continue to spend most of the time here in UK, as more time should have been spent, in Nigeria. So again, we wouldn't know because they don't give you the health check of what the presidential aspirant looks like. But Simon Ekpa is already challenging them because he has actually taken off his T-shirt and says if any one of them could do the same thing, then he will know that they are fit.
Well, the chairman of the APC is saying that, you know what, Tinubu has not got any any health challenges at all. He thinks that he's going to be there. If he wins the election, he's going to be able to rule the country in peace. But what do you think, listeners? This is what we are asking you today. Do you think the election is going to take place? The Police High Command is saying that there will be no movement. So there's going to be restriction in movement on the election day. That's what the Police High Command is saying. IGP orders restriction of movement nationwide on election day. Have you got something that you can keep at home, those of you in Nigeria, so that you can depend on just in case? But we don't have the naira to even go and get it. You are queuing this morning at the ATM. You're not even sure whether the money is going to be coming in or not. Or what do you think? Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Yomi, before you go.
Well, I will be back again, tomorrow as we continue to monitor the last day before the 25th election, as it's been prepared and planned in Nigeria. But one thing is, Starr Radio UK will monitor all the situation on ground so that we can continue to give our listeners around the world the opportunity to see what is going on, even in the midst of communication and technical problem that we were meant to bring this morning. We couldn't bring that because of the technicality that we have back home.
Yomi, let me say thank you very much once again, and I'll catch up with you later on.
Thank you.
Right. Well, listeners, that has been Mr. Olayomi Koiki.
We couldn't, get the signal this morning. What I'm going to do, I'm going to end this broadcast and come back probably maximum within an hour where we can have a proper full program so that we don't mix this up with the Starr Radio this morning. So we're going to end this program. Thank you so much for everyone. But I will come back maximum an hour two when we can have our afternoon section and we continue on the Yoruba Nation campaign. Have a very great afternoon and bye for now.